Hello, and welcome to the newest episode of the Drive Home Podcast. I'm your host, and while today was mid the past week, not so much. But that's besides the point. Let's drive this podcast home. So, this past week, I had off from work, and because of Independence Day, not the movie, but the 4th of July, which is known as Independence Day for America, independence from uh, the Britain, I guess at the time, the UK, and now I'm back and now I'm here. But much has changed. Much has changed, and I guess we're gonna talk about that because there's not much else I can really think of right now. Think is the correct term of phrase for that. Ooh, that animal. But yeah, so what happened was uh, I got like a couple of my friends and my brother had an intervention for me. Except it wasn't like an intervention where they asked me to like stop drinking too much or I don't know, whatever the. It was one of those interventions where it's kind of like we don't really like you anymore. Um, the way you can't read the room, we don't like that. Uh, yeah, it was mostly just being unable to read the room, and then there's misunderstanding where someone assumed I was yelling at my brother over the phone, which I wasn't yelling, but I mean they were on the other side of the phone, and you know it's me versus like five people, so you know there's like a 0% win chance against that. So because I did not know what was happening. I thought maybe we were going to play a game or something, but no, they were like, well, we just can't associate with you because politics and, the other stuff I said is a lengthy conversation, so we went over a lot, I guess. And yes, these friends were the ones who I got into a fight with over politics several months ago. Uh, so, I thought things might have been able to go back to normal, but I guess not. And, well, I always said, if they're ready, they could come to me, but I'm not going to go to them because I just feel stupid. You know, I don't need to be the one to rebuild the bridge that they burned. It doesn't make no sense. And the political one was kind of weird 'cause it was like they were just well, your politics are like, well, we disagree on them, and with the level of politics getting like hotter and hotter. It's like so. So you're saying that politics is getting more and more heavy and heated, and your solution is to exclude the guy with different politics because you know that's what makes sense. Now, if they think like I do and know how crazy their own side is, I would be like, sure, because like a lot of left wing, a lot of I think leftists, I should say, the far left, uh, are crazy and will like push everyone out that they can when given the chance for like a minuscule level of disagreement, right? And and so, you know, I don't I don't really talk about my politics too much, and you guys don't know me or who my friends are, but for the most part, like I've been keeping that as much of a secret as possible. Thankfully, Godzilla Guy is not part of this group. He's chill, even though he disagrees with me politically. Um, my brother was there because they hang out with my brother more than they do me. So, uh, yeah. But, it's a very tough conversation to have. Mostly because it's almost always how it goes. I have always been on the lesser side of things for a long time. And originally, as I said before, I was more or less undecided. I was on the like, oh well, Trump's a bad guy. I listen to the media and don't think about them lying to me at all. Um, I don't think about anyone on the internet being like crazy at all. I used to be like that, right? And then I actually started looking into this stuff for someone. There's still a lot of things I get like wrong or like close to wrong or whatever. But oh, it didn't pick up my the under the breath swear. Um, I had to pause and wait because there was oncoming traffic and there was a male vehicle on my side of the road, so I had to wait for the oncoming one car to go by. But yeah, no. So I don't know if and this involves more than just the two friends I got in a political disagreement over. There were two others who also mostly just hang out with my brother. Um, though there was one person among all four of them who had been my friend since like middle school. Um, so that was really upsetting because like obviously like I'm not just like I'm not gonna change my politics because the people around me aren't gonna associate with me unless if I do change my politics. I think that's inherently stupid. Like like obviously if you get information that you can verify is correct that says otherwise or whatever, sure. But um, yeah, so I was always kind of like, oh, they're around. What should I do? I don't know. I'll just kind of. And sometimes, they're like usually when they hang out, they're at my house because my brother doesn't have a car, obviously. So they have to come hang out at my place, uh, which personally I hope to do less of because I like going around my house as I please. Uh, no, I don't know. Other than that, it's like, um, cool, but yeah, I don't know. It's like it's weird. Right, yeah, I was saying so there were two other people who must hang out with my brother. Um, One of them insinuated, I think, I don't know if they intended to or not, that I somehow, somewhat have like anger issues or something or whatever, because I got angry at my brother over a thing. It was the phone loud thing or whatever. And it's just like, I mean, at the time, like in retrospect, yeah, it was a stupid thing, but I was under a lot of like he was annoying the crap out of me for like the past 3 weeks, back to back to back, repeatedly, and I was getting sick of it personally. So, and maybe I had a bad day at work. I don't remember, but I just he was near where like he had eaten a bag of chips of mine that I had been saving for a thing that he was invited to that he kept flaking on, so we kept pausing it, which is, of course, watching Lord of the Rings trilogy. Um, Not all in one day, of course, no. We watched the first one together, and if at any point he had said, I'm just not interested in watching it, I would have been good, thank you. But no, he was like, well, no, I'm actually busy today at this time, which is like the only time, because it was me and Godzilla guy who were really wanting to watch it. I think if at any point he just said, I just don't care, I'm just not interested, I watched the first one, but I don't want to watch it anymore because they're too long, I would have been, all right, fine, whatever. That sucks. And, but like, whatever. It means I didn't have to wait a full month, you know? And he had just been annoying me with that stuff. And whenever he does something like that, it just reminds me of all the other times he's done similar things. Like it's not exactly the same. But he went to see a movie in advance without me or my friends, which part of these friends were part of this group, so it was kind of funny in a way. But he went to see a movie that we all wanted to see and made plans to go see like a while ago together. Uh, and Yeah, I don't know. It's just this thing, just this darn thing where I don't know. I mean, honestly, it feels liberating, right? Because like there was always like, are we on okay pages again? We haven't really talked about it, but I want to bring it up. It was always one of those things where it's like it felt like the other foot shoe could drop, and you know what? It did, and you know what? Honestly, I'm glad it did. I'm really glad it did because it was getting sick and tired. I was getting sick and tired of having to walk on pins and needles around them. I'll never tell them that because I like being kind to my friends, right? Even if we don't agree on a lot of things, and like maybe we don't necessarily like all the same things or whatever. But like, it is what it is. It happened, and now I guess my only friend left that I even talked to was Godzilla guy, which like, yeah, it's kind of sad. But then it means I have more time to do my own stuff. I can get into like actual hobbies besides video games, right? Because I think I've been interested in like not getting out of video games, but like investing more of my time in more interesting things, right? Like I think I've spoken a bit before about like AI and stuff, and like how I watch some AI channels, and it's enjoyable. It's really interesting because it's stuff you can't experience normally. It's mostly just funny, stupid stuff, and then the music it can be really good or really funny or well, right? It takes all kinds, right? And I don't know. It's just a thing where it's like sucks that it happened. I was sad in the moment. I'm still, I guess, upset about it now. If that's a word I should use, but to describe myself. But I was something I always say is my emotions are like a balloon with a hole in it. Well, it's like my emotions are the air inside the balloon or whatever. It'll slowly leak out, right? It's like a tiny leak. It'll all leak out, whatever type thing. They can swell up and they can, you know, overwhelm me. They can slowly sort of build what basically feel like non-existent until it bubbles over, and then it really starts to like. But like I don't know. It's like I was sad. I was sad the day after it happened, and it's I don't know maybe like 2 days, 3 days after it happened, and it was my first day back at work, and honestly, I mean, thank God, I guess. Like I don't know. That sounds mean. But um, it is what it is, right? Like it's not my decision. If it was my decision, I'd just be like, all right, how about none of us just bring up politics around each other, right? I mean, my brother already hates it as is. He was talking about it, right? Um, Unless you want to talk about AI, in which case he and Godzilla guy and probably all my other friends all have hate boners for AI, more or less. Um, and I'm sure I won't be able to change their minds on that. But whatever. I went to a convention last year or something, uh, and apparently they're going again, and I'm not invited. Which is like, honestly, for me, it's like woohoo, because it costs a lot of money. And you got to go there, and my knees are already crap as is. I don't need my knees to get more crap just by sitting in a car for like 4 hours. Um, and my brother's going, so I don't have to take him to work for like a whole week or 3 days or something. I don't know. All I know is that I'm basically, when that time comes, I'll be all good. And of course, I still help them. Of course, I'm still a little butthurt about the whole thing. But at the same time, it's honestly just like, you know, I don't care. I just don't care. And I'm not, and I get a little riled up thinking about it still. So obviously, I'm gonna sound butthurt, and I think I still am a little bit. But like, honestly, like the other shoe had to drop, and now that it has, honestly, I've always been, I've always been crap at how you say. I've always hated. What is it? How do I say this? Uh, hmm. I've always been bad, terrible, or hated the idea of taking the first step into something new, the new territory, setting my foot down, declaring something, And honestly, I think the reason I even spoke up about the politics is because the things that they said were like uneducated at the time, and you know, whatever. Um, and so I was like, well, maybe I can enlighten them upon this thing that isn't super duper like specifically. I mean, it's definitely but I'm not going to get into that. That's a whole can of worms. But the, the whole thing is that I've always hated taking the first step into something new. Um, Trying new things is one thing, but like realistically, I mean, like like saying something out of line, so to speak, or like I don't know, speaking up, I guess. Saying something that isn't what the me I've been, right? Like, I guess once I found the slot that I fit into, I wouldn't say anything I wouldn't say anything different, and I would just adopt what they did into what I did. If it was something that was gonna stay, and it was like I just wasn't my own person. Honestly, I think I'm still getting over that. Being other people, I guess. Obviously, I still like certain things, and I don't like certain things or whatever. But at the same time, it's just like the whole thing is crappy. But gotta make the best out of a bad situation. So you know, forgive and forget, right? I don't even care. That's sort of the why I say that. You know. So it just ends up being that it's all up to them. And honestly, if they did offer me, I would a chance to go to that thing. I don't think I would have said yes because I have car payments and stuff, and I don't know how long I work at my place until I actually get a vacation week or whatever. Or if I could just request a whole week off or something. I don't know. Like it's a money drain, and like all I really got was like a sword and food. But and it is what it is. Uh, but I think I think the thing I have to do now is find myself. I've been so busy with staying caught up with certain things and um, doing things that other people wanted and trying to make sure there was time for other people. Where now I'm getting a lot more free time. So I think the best thing for me to do is figure out what I want to get into, what I want to learn about, do something about, and also pick up reading again. Definitely pick up reading again. Now that I got a big old book I got to read. Yeah, I didn't get to mention that. I don't think I did anyway. Um, my final space book, the final chapter came in the mail, so I get to read that now. I've read the prologue, uh, or the prelogue, or prelude, whatever. I read the recap of the show. Um, I don't know if I didn't pick up on things correctly in certain situations, or like it's an unreliable narrator situation or something, or what. But um, it was a bit different than I remember, which is fine. It's been a while since I watched the show, so it's fine. Um, anyway, I should probably go do what I gotta do. I'm not home, but I'm gonna be soon-ish enough, more or less. So I think I'll just end it here and go do my shopping. But yeah, I love my friends. I would die for them, I think. But I don't know. All things must come to an end, and if this is that, then there's no use crying over spilt milk. Sucks, but you can't just keep looking back. You gotta look forward. And I think that's what I'm going to do. I think this actually helps because there's less weighing me down now. I can finally prioritize me for the most part. So that's about it. Thank you all for joining me in this episode of the Drive Fun Podcast. If you liked it, leave a like. And if you didn't, you don't have to. Um, This is a bit of a serious one. I feel bad about that. I did actually record my thoughts, I think 2 hours after it happened. And I don't know if I'll ever put that up or if that's just something for me to listen to privately. Because after that happened, I had a little to drink. So it was real. It was something to think about. Let's just say. So yeah, but whatever. I just drank because I bought some alcoholic beverages and I was like, well, you know what, may as well. Um, but no, yeah, that is about it. I hope you all have a great next 24 hours, and I hope you join me all next time I drive this podcast home, or at least to the nearby store that's like a minute away from my home. Uh, See you on the next one. Bye.